subscribers, that is the policy guidelines of defense civilians of Indian Navy. So this is a vast topic. So we divide it into five different sections and we will discuss one by one. So first and foremost, what is the need of this transfer policy? Second is how do we classify defense civilians according to the cadre controlling authority, and what are the grounds of transfer, and what are the tenure to be completed in each category of transfer. Also the procedure for transfer request. These are the five things we are going to discuss in today's video. So why do we need a transfer policy? Like any other thing, if there is a policy guiding everything, it will be easy and transparent to others. So that is the main important thing and most important thing in the transfer policy. So if you have the clear cut idea of what is happening or how the transfer is occurring, then it is very easy for everybody. That is the first and foremost thing for the leading to the transfer policy. Second thing is that it will help us to avoid non-filling of vacancies. There are many cadres in which vacancies are available, but it is getting non-filled because the people who are getting transferred out immediately just refuse to get it. So they will remain in the same cadre, whereas the people in the lower of the seniority will stagnate, and also it affects the non-filled vacancies. So if you know a clear-cut idea about the transfer, when it occurs and when do I get a transfer, then it will be easy for you to adjust yourself and do things accordingly. Then it will be very helpful, and it also helps the individual to plan their things in advance. Like if I know that I will get a transfer in 2021 January, I can well advance plan how to deal with. Then these are the things which lead to this transfer policy. Then let us see how the cadre of Indian Navy, that is the civilian cadre of Indian Navy, could be classified as per the cadre controlling authority. So there are a broad classification of three groups. One is a group A, or which you say that controlled by the IHQ MOD Navy. It includes the group A and group B gazetted employees and a few non-gazetted employees of group B, that is administrative officers. They include administrative officers, technical officers, private secretaries, scientific officers and scientific staff, etc. So they all are having all India transfer liability and they are controlled by IHQ MOD Navy. And the second classification is the group B, so which are having cadre controlling authority as the command headquarters. Generally the category of people who are coming under this is also transferable or also liable of all India transfer liability, but generally their transfer occurs within the command only. For example, the clerical staff and stenographers. So their controlling authority is the respective command headquarters. And the third category is the dockyard and NSRY. The units like dockyards and NSRY, which includes industrial employees and also the supervisors such as chargeman and foreman. So these are the third category of civilian employees. So in this way we can just understand how in which level the transfer occurs. So the first group it is IHQ, and the second group the command headquarters, and third group it will be the dockyards or NSRY and NSDs, depends upon the units in which belongs to. Now let us see what are the grounds of transfer, or why do you get a transfer, and what are the grounds of transfer. There are four main grounds of transfer. First one is the administrative ground, second is routine transfer, third compassionate ground transfer, and on request transfer. So let us discuss in detail. The first one is the administrative ground transfer. So due to the service requirements of an organization, the transfer of individual may occur. That comes under the administrative ground transfer. Sometimes there exists a huge surplus staff in a unit, and there's another unit where the vacancies are non-filled. In such cases, the refilling or redistribution of employees takes place and on transfer. This kind of transfer comes under administrative ground transfer. And it also sometimes to help a needy employee for transfer, this occurs. That is also comes under administrative level transfer. Disciplinary action. Due to disciplinary action, a person can get transferred out from a particular unit. That also comes under administrative ground transfer. The second is the routine transfer. So the routine transfer occurs once in a year, that is in April or May. Okay, generally it occurs in April and May. It occurs when an employee completes its required tenure in a particular station, then automatically he is transferred out to the other station. This tenure is different for different cadres and different criteria are also there. We will discuss in the later part of this video. Then third one is the compassionate ground transfer. So this helps the individual to cater the needs of his domestic needs or sometimes the medical issues. If the employee himself is not well and he wants some treatment, then he can go for a transfer which comes under medical ground transfer. He can also apply for a compassionate ground transfer if his or her spouse or children or immediate dependents are ill and they want a better treatment which is not available in the current station. And the fourth one is the request transfer. That is, if an individual want to go to some other station due to many reasons, maybe he want to go to his native place or want to improve himself, professional growth is required, and many things. So in that cases also he can put up for a request transfer. So these are the four grounds of transfer. Now let us see how long we will be remaining in a particular station to attain various transfers. That is the tenure of transfer in each category of transfer. So first type of transfer is your routine transfer. So if you are posted at a particular station, you have to complete a minimum of 5 years to get a routine transfer. So if you are assigned with certain duties and it just completes within the tenure, then you can apply for a routine transfer, that is your 5 years, and you can extend up to 8 years maximum to get a routine transfer. And there are certain category of people who are handling very sensible issues like financial issues, recruitment process, etc. And those persons will remain for only 3 years to get a routine transfer. And the second type of transfer is remote stations transfer. So there are remote stations and hard stations. For example, the Port Blair of Andaman and Nicobar Island is a remote station. The tenure to remain in such a station is just 2 years. So you can just get a transfer when you complete the tenure of 2 years from Port Blair. And there are hard stations like Ejimala, Chilka, Kavar, etc. So those hard stations, the required tenure to remain before transfer is just 3 years. So this hard station or remote station transfer will be intimated prior to the appointment. So the duration to remain in such stations will be intimated to you through the appointment order itself. Okay. Now the third one is the key personnel transfer. Who are the key personnels? There are organizations which are dealing with very sensitive issues. That is some projects which could not be done with so and so person. So such personnels are termed as key personnels. So each unit will send the list of key personnel to the cadre controlling authority, that is to ISQ or the command headquarters, and it will be published. So those personnels can remain in a station for 8 years, and due to service exigencies, if they want to extend further, they can be informed to the cadre controlling authority by the unit and could be extended just for 1 more year. Then is the command roster transfer. As we discussed, we have a second category of civilians whose cadre controlling authority is command headquarters, but they are having all India transfer liability. So their transfer occurs within the command within 7 years. That is just to rotate the job. They will go for a transfer within the command. The duration is, or the tenure is 7 years. Okay. And this is a privilege for the person who is going to retire. Prior to retirement, before 2 years of retirement, the person can request for a transfer to his native place or a place of his own choice. Then the person can be transferred out to the same. Then transfer and posting of husband and wife. If husband and wife both are government employees, then maximum they will be posted in the same station or nearby. So for a unmarried woman employee, the posting or first appointment will be with her parents or near to the station of parents. And if she is a married employee, her posting will be along with the husband or the nearest station, provided the service exigencies are met with. Then transfer on promotion. So if an employee gets promoted along with transfer, so what are the priorities an employee gets? If there is a promotion transfer, the volunteers are given priority. If any volunteers to move out of the station, that person will be given first priority. The second priority is for the station senior, who is the person who completed more year in the particular station, will be promoted or transferred out to the outstation. And if there's vacancies existing in the particular station, again the station seniority will be considered. Then other category of transfer is mutual transfer. So you can go for a mutual transfer provided two persons of equal capacity and equal status is available at two different stations, and their units can meet the service exigencies by the mutual transfer. Then they can put up for a mutual transfer, it will be given to them. Okay. Then the last thing is the deferment or cancellation of a transfer order. Most of the cases, if a person want to defer, that means extend the transfer or promotion for a certain duration, he can put up a request to the cadre controlling authority before the prescribed time. So as per the criteria, the cadre controlling authority will consider the case and give a deferment or cancellation of transfer as it may be the cases. Normally, if an employee is having a child who is in 12th standard, he is allowed to continue at the station till the completion of his 12th standard academic year. Now let us discuss two special cases of transfer. One is the transfer to the choice station. Another is transfer on compassionate ground. We will discuss in detail. So transfer to a choice station. So if there are many applicants to a particular choice station, who will get the priority? So first priority will be given to that person, that employee who completed his tenure and who is also having a hard station service. That is, if there are two persons who completed the tenure of 5 years in a particular station and they put up for a choice station transfer, if one of them is having a hard station service for 2 years, that person will be given the transfer first. The priority of the second one will be less than him. And the second priority will be given to those who are having only 2 years of service before retirement. Such persons will be considered in the second priority case. And third criteria is that the person who have served very less duration in the choice station will be given. That is, I'll make it clear. Suppose two person applying to Karwar. Okay, if one among them is having 5 years service over there previously and the other one is having only 3 years, then the person who saved only 3 years will be considered for the transfer to that particular station. And the last priority will be given to the persons who is applying under compassionate ground. So it can be given for compassionate ground can be given if the person himself is ill or his spouse or immediate dependents are ill and who require treatment which is not available in the current station, and then they will be given the priority. So the priority level is first one those who completed the tenure and have a hard station service. Second is having the persons who are having less than is minimum having 2 years of service to retire. Third priority is the person who served less number of years in the chosen station. And fourth one, those who are having compassionate grounds, medical grounds for himself, for spouse or immediate dependents. And once this person is transferred to the choice station, he will not be further transferred out from that station for minimum 3 years. And if there's a vacancy created in a particular station and there are volunteers for that station, then they will be considered under this transfer of choice station. And if a person, there are two person or more persons who's opting for a choice station, and their seniority will be considered. And in such case, if a person is having more number of service even in a different cadre in the same station, he will be considered as the senior and will be transferred. That's all about the transfer to a choice station. Now let us see the transfer on compassionate ground. Under compassionate ground, various criteria are there under which you will get more priority. The first priority will be medical issues. That is, as we discussed earlier, the priority for the self. That is the first priority. Second is the employee's immediate dependents, father, parents, spouse or children are ill and they need serious treatments, then they will be considered second. And physically handicapped persons or challenged widowers will be given third priority. And fourth priority will be to those employees whose spouse expired and they are single parent, they are with the children, they will be given the fourth priority under medical criteria, which comes under the compassionate ground transfer. And once you get the compassionate grounds transferred to a particular station, you can remain there at least 1 year. It will not be, that person will not be, that transfer will not be reviewed within 1 year. So 1 year he can remain there. So every year, after completion of every year, the compassionate ground transfer will be reviewed and actions will be taken by the cadre controlling authority. Um, then in this compassionate ground transfer, the person need not wait for a reliever. Generally what happens, if we get a transfer order, he has to wait for the reliever to hand over, and it makes certain delay. But in case of this compassionate ground transfer, there is nothing called a reliever to waiting period for the reliever. You can directly, immediately you can go to the particular station. And the fifth priority under this compassionate transfer ground is the government servants who are having children with disability. So the disability includes blindness, low vision, hearing impairment, locomotor disability, leprosy cured persons, mentally challenged, mental illness and mental disabilities. So these are the disabilities which can come under disabilities. So the government employee who is a parent of such children get the next priority. Then entire service you can get only two compassionate ground transfer. More than that you will not be allowed to attain. Now, what is the process to be followed for request transfer? So, you can just, the individual who need transfer can put up a request in the prescribed format to the cadre controlling authority. That is either your IHQ, MOD Navy or the command headquarters through proper channel. So, the individual units will forward this application to the cadre controlling authority. The representations received from the relatives or spouse or nothing, only the individual's request will be acceptable. Then the decision taken by the cadre controlling authority will be final, and it will be passed to the respective units, and the units will act accordingly. No further representation will be forwarded to the cadre controlling authority if unless otherwise there are extra points to be forwarded. So these are the things all about this transfer policy of civilian employees of Indian Navy.